Hello again. Welcome to another edition of CropLife Retail Week. I'm Eric Sfiligoj, editor of CropLife and CropLife Iron in green, not quite St. Patrick's green, because that would, with our green screen background, that would make me be invisible or floating headish, which would not be good. But I do have some green on, and I am here joined again by Lara Sowinski, who, based on the last name, maybe not Irish, but you like Irish stuff, right?
Yeah, especially when it's green beer. Why not?
There we go. Yeah. I've never been able to get over the color scheming of green beer. It just,
Yeah,
beer to me should be more of a golden color, maybe a little brown.
yeah,
But all right, some people love the green beer. Your cup of tea or a cup of beer, that's fine. But hopefully, everybody, as you're watching this video, getting ready for St. Patrick's Day, we hope you and your family have a great one. So,
indeed.
yeah.
Love an
So
Irish.
hey, I guess we'll do this session and we'll kind of call it old news and new news
Yeah.
for this week's video. I've got some old news to share. Basically updates on some things we've talked about in past videos. Sure, you might remember, Laura, a while back there was speculation that our friends at Bayer were possibly going to be spinning off their crop science group into its own company, perhaps.
Hmm.
But we've heard this week from an earnings report from CEO Bill Anderson at Bayer. He gave a conference on March 5th, and he was asked the question about the company's plans moving forward, and he mentioned the fact that he wants the crop science group to introduce 10 new blockbuster products, as he said, blockbuster products over the next 10 years. So he says he has high hopes for the division's, path moving forward. But he was asked specifically about the plans to perhaps spin off or separate the companies.
Hmm.
And his answer back to the reporter that asked the question was two words: not now. So Bayer is going to stay, Bayer as we know and love it today is going to stay that way going forward for the foreseeable future, according to Bill Anderson, the CEO, in that conference call.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Actually, that's very aggressive. 10 blockbuster products in 10 years, given the timeline and, frankly, the financial investment required to bring a product to market is incredible. So, super aggressive, but that's great. I hope they hit it. Great, great
Yeah,
goal.
again, when we did our wrap of a commodity classic about a week or two ago, I mentioned the fact that one of the folks, when I had talked to the Bayer folks on the floor, they were talking about the new product, the new herbicide they were getting ready to
Mhm.
prepare for the marketplace. So that
Exactly.
could be, I guess, product number one of the blockbusters, and we got
Mhm.
9 more to go. So, folks, on this front, stay tuned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So one other update I have, and this goes back a couple of videos. I think you might remember there was some effort underway to perhaps delete or get rid of AM radios in automobiles.
Yep.
And I know that the ag community, because a lot of the farm reports and the farm shows that I listen to on the radio are on the AM part of the dial on my radio, that there was a lot of unhappiness over that proposal. Well, this I guess someone in Congress passed something, or actually had proposed a legislation called AM radio in every vehicle.
Mhm. Mhm.
And this act has been making the rounds through the House of Representatives. And according to a report this week, a new congressman, Josh Gottheimer, a Democrat from New Jersey, has now signed on. So there are 218 people in the House of Representatives that are on board with this legislation to make sure that there's going to stay AM radios in vehicles. So it looks like this will pass the House, then it'll
Mhm.
go to the Senate, but it looks like Congress has stepped up and that AM radios will continue to be in automobiles moving forward.
Yeah, that's great. If you remember when we were at Commodity Classic and the Buckeye Breakfast, our MC, she also mentioned that, trying to get the word out and folks to support that. So yeah, that's
Yep.
cool. Good news.
Yeah, so good news. So there is the I guess quote unquote old news updates on two stories that we've been following over the last couple of months. But I guess you have a couple of new news items. So I will toss this over to you and let you update our viewers on what tidbits you have to share this week.
Why, thank you. I do have a little supply chain story caught my eye. The state of Kansas is spending 16.5 million on 17 short line rail expansion and rehabilitation projects to improve the ag supply chains. And that came out of worldgrain.com, reporting from World Grain. That's good. I was looking around actually for some supply chain stories for this week, and that was frankly one of the newest that came out. So wanted to share that. The other thing is actually really interesting to me. We've been talking, John Deere obviously has been a big and noteworthy exhibitor during CES each year, the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an article, Allison Carter, editor in chief for PR Daily. The article was about what John Deere is doing to move the company from a traditional legacy manufacturer to a tech company. And one of the things that they've done, it's really kind of fun. There's a social media influencer. His name is David Kogan. He goes by the Unlocker, so that's the UNLOCKR, no E in there, the Unlocker. And they're working with David, and he has no background in ag, no background in farming, um, uh, to kind of show life on the farm. We talk about consumers being more engaged in their food supply chain and where the food is coming from, how it's produced, who's behind it. So John Deere was working with David on some things at the farm, but rather than like being out on site and saying this is a plot, blah blah blah. I guess somebody wrote in and said, "Hey, why don't we have David be a farmer and like go through all the steps from beginning to end to show the whole thing, so that people really, those outside of agriculture, really, really, really can deeply appreciate what's going on." So probably what kind of started as a lark, yeah, let's put David behind the wheel of a tractor. They're actually doing that, and David has, I think, 700,000 plus folks on his YouTube channel that follow him. And then he's also working with, he's not doing it alone, obviously. He's got the help not only of John Deere, but a woman farmer up in North Dakota, farmer and rancher. Her name is Chelsea Erdman. And she has like 80,000 plus followers on Instagram. And so she's working with David. I guess it's a huge hit, and it really is doing what John Deere is hoping that it'll do, really engaging people outside of agriculture to understand what goes on. So this caught my eye not only because, kind of a great story, but um, as we've been talking in recent weeks, we've been on the road, and I've been on the road talking with some of our crop protection folks, and every single one of them mentioned how important it is to, tell the story of agriculture, particularly not even amongst the agriculture community, but the folks outside of it. And I thought, wow, this is exactly what we were talking about. So, kind of a fun news item. So,
Yeah, and actually, that's a great item. I know, and this will take some folks back, perhaps some of our viewers, but I know about 20 years ago, I think now, our sister publication, Cotton Grower, they actually had one of their editors for 1 year's worth of the cotton growing season that year, actually having half acre of cotton
yeah.
that they planted. They planted the seed. They went through all the steps of growing the cotton. They went through the whole season, doing everything that the growers, a normal cotton grower would do on this half acre. And I do remember that section of the magazine, for like the 8 or 9 issues it ran, was like one of the most popular things in the magazine. So,
Wow.
Laura, maybe you and I, maybe we need to, just for fun, maybe we need to like start a pseudo ag retailer out there and go through the season trying to run the ag retail outlet, and supplying stuff and making sure that everybody has what they need on time. And I don't know, viewers, if you want to see that, let us know, and Laura and I will kick it around. Maybe we'll become retailers in our own right, at least momentarily, not permanently, but momentarily.
That's a great idea. I have the hat. I've got my women in ag tech caps. At least I've got the first component of the outfit.
Yes, yes, and I have myriad hats of various names that I could switch on depending on who would be on site. If the equipment dealer or a crop protection company or a fertilizer supplier, I would be able to have that covered without a problem. Be like one of those old Green Acres guys where he's putting on different hats to indicate that he's the fire chief versus the police chief versus the mayor, et cetera, et cetera. So.
Yep, let's do
All
it.
right. Well, hey, now, Miss Laura, then we'll end this on a high note, hopefully.
All
Time for
righty.
your favorite segment of the show. Yes, it is time for Fun with Numbers. All right, I have faith in you this week. And like I say, I hope you'll find this interesting. So, your number this week is a percentage, 42%.
Okay.
All right. So is 42%, Miss Laura, is that A, the percentage of the U.S. male population considered obese? Is it B, the percentage of exhibit space dedicated to drones at the recent Commodity Classic show? Is it C, the percentage of cars that currently don't have an AM radio? Or is it D, the ratio of corned beef to boiled vegetables I intend to eat this St. Patrick's Day? You'll notice that the meat percentage is lower than the vegetables. Vegetables are better for me, so I tend to eat more of those. So.
Well, I don't think it's B, so I'm gonna quickly eliminate that one. I don't dare touch A with a 10-foot pole for a variety of reasons. So I'm gonna go with C, cars without AM radio. No.
No, your instincts about polls were incorrect. Actually, the answer is A. I'm sorry.
This,
Yes, this was a study done by the medical journal The Lancet, and they were
yeah.
talking about obesity worldwide. And U.S. women did not rank in their top 10, but the U.S. men did. At number 10, 42% of the U.S. male population is considered obese. That's ages 20 and over. And this was as of 2022, which was the last year they had figures for. What was interesting to me is the place that actually was number one for both men and women in terms of obesity, American Samoa.
Yeah, yeah.
The population there considered obese was 81%, and for men it was 70%. So
Yeah.
I thought that was rather interesting statistically. And then they included the fact that according to data, there's 880 million adults and 159 million children worldwide that are considered obese as of 2022.
So I guess no green beer for the guys. Um,
Not in American Samoa, apparently. So.
well, maybe if it's light green beer, maybe they could. Anyway, bummer, man. I thought I
Yeah.
had it. Thought it was the cars, but there's always next week, right?
All right. Well, that covers everything for this week, Miss Laura. Thanks for playing. Better luck next week. I'll try to give you an answer that you will touch with a 10-foot pole or 5-foot pole or even an 3-centimeter pole. What the heck? We'll go metric. So.
Well, good, because I have to get my winning streak back.
Yes, I agree. So, all right. Well, thanks, viewers, for joining us this week again. I hope everyone has a happy and safe St. Patrick's Day, and we will see you again real soon. Thank you. If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comment section below. Your feedback is important to us. We will try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.